That high-tech machinery's always bothered me. The, they told me, let me ask a question here. I'm not a political person or anything like that, but how many of you voted for Bill Clinton? Oh, this could get nasty. There's been several women this morning casually mentioned that I shouldn't be picking on women or politicians. So I'll talk about Hillary. She don't classify as either one. Now, my stories and stuff is about growing up on ranches, you know, and working on ranches, and then after I got up and got married, having to work with a little woman, which in itself is kind of a tragic tale. She don't take orders worth a damn, and she don't do constructive criticism. You know, it's a situation where typical woman, I might add. They told me I was pushing it. See, where I was raised, until my kid sister was born, I kind of had to create my own form of entertainment. And, you know, you'd be amazed how much fun it is spinning a little sister around on an old polished floor, you know, till the adults catch you. But them old cowboys I was around, they took it upon themselves to raise me and educate me to the ways of the world. And until my sister was born, I thought I was 35 years old and something had just happened to stunt my growth. You know, it was different. Them old men getting me bucked off, run over by calves and stuff, and laugh and carry on. But them old men had a philosophy about life concerning women, and they instilled that in my little head, you know. And the fact was that all women had their place. Come on, how many of you guys agree with me? Yeah, right. No guts, no glory. Well, you know, they preached this to me, and I believed them. And I still believe that to this very day, that all women do have their place. And it's a well-established fact, and I push this fact every chance I get. See, I was only married about 10 days before it dawned on me, after eating my own cooking for 6 of them days. Wearing some really nasty Levi's and sleeping in the pickup, that a woman's place is any damn where she wants to be. And, you know, I don't pick on women to be rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. I don't. I would never intentionally hurt anyone's feelings. But if I can tick them off, it sure makes my day. You know, and it works too, you know. I pick on women because, by God, they deserve it. You know, there's a federally funded program on the study of the typical woman, paid for by your tax dollars, done by women, which I thought was kind of narrow-minded. But the typical woman is right 87% of the time. 87% of the time, I'm telling you. The other 13%, when they're wrong, they don't care. They make life so miserable on the man that he wishes he had the rib back. You know, he pretends they're right just to get them off his back. You know, well, I was kind of raised to be respectful to women and everything, and it is one of them situations, you know. And after our kids grew up and got grandkids, my oldest grandson Joe, he's 11 now, and when he was about, I guess, 5 or 6, he went with me everywhere he could. I roped steers quite a bit. He was over at the house every chance he had, and he'd wear his little spurs, you know, and come around there. And he thought Papa was a pretty neat kind of old feller, and I agreed with him. But, you know, the little woman and me have this running gun battle all the time. You know, the proper care and training of the little woman is in the wrist. And if you fail to get results with this, a little voice inflection is very important. Example, "Yeah, woman." That's something else them old men had told me about. You know, it didn't dawn on me till I was 18 that every one of them old son of a guns was single. So, you know, old Joe and me, we'd be out there roping and messing around, goofing off, and I'd come in the house. You know, and a little woman see us coming in, she'd be pouring a glass of tea or something. "Yeah, woman, get me some tea." Well, she's not a complete idiot. She knew better than to throw that tea at me because I don't do domestic in the form of cleaning up things much. Joe took it on himself to start training all the women in his life, Mammy included. He'd go around, "Yeah, woman this," and "Yeah, woman that," and he tried that on his little kindergarten teacher. And Pawpaw got called to school. You know, my wife informed me, she said, "You better get that crap out of that boy's head or I'm going to hurt you permanent." I told her, I said, "He'll grow out of it." She said, "No, you're going to grow out of it. You get it stopped." I said, "Well, yes, dear. I'm not henpecked, but I do have a world of respect for a violent woman." So, I'm not by myself, am I? I'm a firm believer in experience being the best form of education ever. You know, you can take books and videos and stuff and teach somebody something, not much, but experience is where you really learn. I mean, it's a situation where you definitely learn by making mistakes and stuff. Well, old Joe and me had been out roping there one Sunday afternoon, and I decided to go in the house and lay down on the couch and watch a little football. Went in there, and the little woman was in the kitchen doing whatever little women do whenever their old man's in there watching the ball game they don't care nothing about. Joe, he gets up in my recliner there. We live in a 1948 model house. Walls about that thick, and you can hear a fly cough in the back bedroom. I'm laying there, and I look over at Joe, and I said, "Joe, go in there and tell your mammy that I want some tea, and I want it now." "All right." Goes in there. Well, the little woman heard it. Joe goes in there and says, "Mammy, Papa wants some tea, and he wants it right now." Little woman said, "You get your little narrow butt back in there, and you tell your Papa if he wants any tea to come get it himself." Pretty near devastated, old Joe. He come in there and put his hands on his hips like that, and I said, "Joe, where's my tea?" He says, "Papa, you need to go in there and straighten her act up." I said, "This kid's got more nerve than he does sense." I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "Mammy said if you want any tea, you better come get it yourself." And I said, "Cowboy, you go in there and you tell that woman that I want that tea and I want it now." He goes in there and he says, "Hey, woman, my papa wants that tea and he wants it right now. You better get your little narrow butt back out of here and tell your papa if he wants it to come get it himself." He comes blowing in there, and he's standing there, both hands on his hips. He's red-headed little old kid and freckle-faced. His hair was on fire. Them freckles standing out about like that. I said, "Joe, where's my tea?" And he says, "Papa, she's gone off the deep end." I said, "What's the trouble?" He said, "She told me to tell you if you wanted that tea to come get it yourself." Well, something else come to mind about them old cowboys. It was schooling me. Never let the woman get the last word. Right. And I told him, I said, "Joe, you don't let no woman talk to you that way." I said, "You get your little butt in there and you go, 'Yeah, woman, my papa wants that tea and he wants it right now.'" He goes off into the kitchen, and I get up off the couch and go to the front door, and I'm holding it open. because this boy is fixing to need an escape route. He gets in there in the kitchen, and all I heard was, "Yeah, woman, whap, 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 whap." The kid's screaming, the little woman's going ballistic. He comes a hauling freight out of the house. I love that train. He comes a trucking out of that kitchen in there, runs through me right out into the driveway, just a hooking it. She's whooping him on the butt with a fly swatter designed to kill ostriches. And she's chewing him out. He's screaming, bawling, rubbing his butt like that. She stopped in the doorway and turned on me. It's a wonder she didn't get a nosebleed. She turned so quick. She said, "You'd better put a stop to this crap." I said, "I think you just did." She turned and stampeded off into the kitchen. Little old Joe come back up there, walking up into the yard, rubbing his butt, and had tears in his eyes, and his old hair's still on fire, and his freckles is kind of white. I said, "Well, cowboy, what do you think now?" He's rubbing his butt like that, and he says, "Pawpaw, I think you better go get your own damn tea."